How to fix Shopify domain error. Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how you can get started with fixing and correcting domain errors on Shopify. Now, sometimes when you're connecting your domain, you can come with some errors, and this can be due to an incomplete connection, an error when you're connecting your domain, or it might be because your DNS records are messed up. So for any of those reasons, there are a few quick fixes and a few best practices which can ensure that you're never going to have to go through Shopify domain errors. So starting off, I'm going to show you guys how you can connect your domain and how you can resolve any errors that are going to happen. First, you're going to log on to your domain and you want to do the same thing. So you want to log on to your domain subscription. I have a domain on Namecheap. And then I also have one on GoDaddy, and I'm gonna actually show you guys both of those domains together, so it's easier for us to simulate an error as well. So you want to log on to both of your domain name providers, whichever one you've used, which, it doesn't matter what domain you have, whether it's on any other platform either. You can just go on ahead and log on to that, and then log on to your Shopify store on the same browser. Logging on the same browser makes it so much more easier and so much more simpler to manage. So you should honestly do that. I personally really like that. Now, once you've done that, you can see all of your domains and your Shopify store. Then you're going to click on settings on the bottom. And then once you click on settings, you're going to see your basic settings. And within this, you're going to see your domains on the left. So right here at the almost center left, you will have your domains. Now this is our default domain, and you can change to a new My Shopify domain as well. And you have a buy or connect a domain option. So you can secure a perfect domain for your store and find a brand new domain, but we already have purchased our domain, so we're going to click on connect existing domain. Now my domain is thelillydavis.online. That's my domain, and I'm going to click on next over here. Once I click on next, you guys will see it is now opening up Namecheap. So DNS records are not pointing to Shopify, and these are the DNS records I want to add. You can log on to Namecheap and open DNS management to do this. So I'll show you guys the manual method. If you log on and do this, you are going to see that sometimes it auto connects. With GoDaddy, it does offer to auto connect, and it automatically puts in these records. But you're going to go into Namecheap or whatever domain name provider you have, and you're going to go into your domain information. So we're going to go into our domain list. Within our domain list, we're going to go into domains, click on over here, click on manage. Once you click on manage over here, you have your DNS settings, which you're going to review. So we have premium DNS. We don't need that. We just have our URL, redirect emails, and other information. So we're going to click on advanced DNS on the top right. Once we click on advanced DNS on the top right, this will load up our DNS records. From here, you're going to click on add new record, and you're going to add a record. Go back into Shopify and copy this value. Then go back into your Namecheap account and then add the IP address, and then add the host as @. It's shown over here what you should be adding the name as, and you just enter that over here. Then you will choose the time length. You can choose automatic. I'm going to leave it at automatic. You're just going to save this and then click on add new record. And the other record is going to be a CNAME record. And I'm just going to copy this, and we're going to scroll down. We're going to select CNAME record. We're going to paste in our value, and we're going to add www. We're going to save this record, and just like that, our new domain records should be included. Once this has been completed, you're just going to ensure everything is saved, and then click on I updated my DNS records. Sometimes DNS records can take over 48 hours to ensure that they are changed globally and they are taking effect. So, but when you're doing this on Namecheap, GoDaddy, the, regions get, ready very frequently. You guys can see they have updated within seconds. Now it's provisioning a TLS certificate for secure connections, and our basic domain has been connected. Now, here is where a lot of people make mistakes. When you're adding your domain or your DNS records, sometimes people skip on something. They don't copy the entire thing. So make sure you're copying the entire thing. The second thing is you want to ensure your domain is already not connected. Sometimes if you've previously used this domain on another store or you connected it to something else before, that can yield to issues. So right now it's provisioning the TLS, and it's going to connect as soon as the TLS has been connected. However, if I go into this domain over here, which I also have, this has several DNS records added into it. Even though it's currently not connected to any website, it still has all those DNS records that are going to interfere whenever you are adding or trying to add a new one. So you do have to remove any pre-existing DNS records and try to do that before you start connecting to your Shopify domain. The next step is to ensure that you do actually own the domain. Sometimes if you've misspelled the domain over here, that might be another issue which can be interfering with your domain connection. Secondarily, you might be trying to connect two domains at the same time. Sometimes people have one domain that is working on Shopify and they try to connect another one. So if you try to add a secondary domain, it's going to be set up as a redirected domain rather than your primary domain. So the Lily Davis Online is now my primary domain. It's confirming it has everything set up correctly. Now, if I go and do that and then click on connect existing and I try to connect my GoDaddy domain, let's say it's thespencer.site, or not this one, I'll actually connect another one, which I know is going to have some issues, and it's Lily Davis. That's the one I'm going to go for. So here is this one. I'm going to go into the domain section. Here it is. So it's lilydavis.site. I'm going to add that, lilydavis.site. Click on next, and this will be added as our secondary redirective domain. So this is already connected to a different Shopify store, but you can still connect it by following the instructions. So we're going to click on connect automatically, and this will open up GoDaddy in a brand new tab. And Shopify does provide GoDaddy Auto Connect, and this will override your original connection. So you do have to ensure that your original connection is something you've removed. You guys can see it was failed. Please check your TXT record. So when you try to override it like this, it does not work. You're going to click on connect manually, and then you're going to add these values in your domain. When you do that properly, it always connects perfectly. However, if you're still facing issues, you can always go into Shopify Help. And the Shopify Help Center can provide you with assistance in connecting your domain if you know that you're doing everything correctly and you still have error. Also keep in mind that your SSL certificate might be expired, which is why your Shopify store is, not functioning properly. So you can search for domain, and you will see domains, domain terminology, changing domain type and target, and you can go through all of these articles, and if that does not work for you, you can go into the Help Center Assistant and ask it to assist you in connecting your domain. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or queries, you guys can leave those in the comments down below. I would love to know what you guys have to say.